This was the first stop we made Friday night, which was 2 nights ago. We'd come down through here and it was probably around 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30, somewhere in that Friday night. And there was nobody back here. This is a part of the park where it's more locals come here than anything else. It's not really, most people bypass this and go up to Cades Cove and such. But we were standing here. We had just backed in. We got out for a few minutes. And Jay was on that side of the car. I was on this side of the car. And we were talking. And I just happened to, I was facing towards the woods, like just like this. I was right here by the car. And I was facing the woods. And I saw a light right in there. It was a white light. And sort of a milky white color. It was not a star. I'll explain that in a minute. But it was moving a little bit. Looked like it was kind of bobbing around a little bit, not a whole lot. But then it started moving this direction. It'd go over a little more and a little more, and I had to keep leaning over, leaning over, leaning over to see it because it kept moving. We decided to talk to it because we figured it was eye glow. I mean, because I'll go ahead and explain that to you. If you look on that, in these woods, there's nothing but hill there. There's no sky until you get way up there. That's, hill goes right up that way. And whatever it was let's get back here. It was right up in there, on this hillside somewhere. All that rhododendron. It's right on this hillside here. As you can turn around, you can see my car over there. It wasn't way up here to where it could have been mistaken for a star, or a star could have been mistaken for the light. Whatever it was about halfway down this hill. And we decided to speak to it. So we just said hello, how you doing? And we didn't mean them any harm, and we just wanted to know more about them. And Jay said, can you throw a rock down here and let us know you're there? And then I said something like, if you want to, can you throw a rock? You know, if you'd like to, just let us know you're back there. And it wasn't even just a few seconds, we heard a rock land right here behind the car. Just a little pebble. I'd say probably about quarter size is what it sounded like. It wasn't a little tiny rock, but it was right on cue. And I had my recorder sitting on top of the car here. I haven't reviewed it yet, but I'm pretty sure it picked it up. I hope so. We're gonna go back and listen. It should have picked it up. I had the sensitivity turned up pretty high. But it was moving back there. It kind of bobbed around a little bit, and it kept inching over to the left and to the left and a little bit more. And I had to keep stepping over and stepping over and stepping over to see it. And like I said, it was only halfway up the hill, like right in this area here. Let me back up where I was standing again. I was standing right here. We were parked in this parking spot, and it was just like right in here. Yeah, right in here somewhere. And that hill goes all the way up, and the top of the hill's up here. You can see the sky where it hits right there. Right in there. There's a ridge line, right? Goes right down through there. And this light was like right in here on that hillside. And as soon as we said something about throwing that rock, it landed right in here. We couldn't ever find the rock, of course, because it was pitch black. We don't know where it landed, but it was right in here somewhere. We looked, but there's several rocks back here, but there's no way we could have picked up the right one, I'm sure. It was pretty cool. We stayed here a little while longer and talked, and then we kind of started getting this feeling like it was time to go. And we listened to it and we left. And then we went on to the next spot, which was the overlook where we had the other incident. There's a big creek right over there. And it wasn't this loud because we've had some rain ever since last night. So the creek is a whole lot louder than it was the other night. It was pretty quiet. I'm going to add to this and say that I don't know how in the world it could have got a rock through all these trees to where it would land right there. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, it would hit a limb, you would have heard it coming through the trees or something. I mean, when we said, would you throw a rock? It was just a few seconds later. It was just like somebody was right around in here and just tossed it over there. I mean, I got to thinking about this, and there's really no way anyone that could be standing way back on that hill there could have thrown it through these woods that quick without hitting some of these trees or branches or something where it would land perfectly right behind my car. It literally sounded like somebody was standing right in here somewhere and just tossed it. So I've never had experiences where there was just one. There's always at least two. So odds are there was another one right in here somewhere that tossed the rock that we didn't know about. I mean, it's just theory, but it makes sense. So take it for what you want. Okay, it's the tree directly in front of my car, that real big tree. It was just to the left edge of that, where we were seeing the orange and white lights, looked like eye glow, kept peeking out to the left of that tree. In and out, up and down. And you can kind of see through the clearing. I don't think they weren't behind the tree. They were through these woods on the other side because there's a ravine right there. I mean, that's straight down. They were to the left of this tree, and I think, as best I can tell, they had to be straight through the woods on the other side where it comes back up, and there's another parking area right on the other side of those woods. Where you pull off this main road. But when we pulled out, we noticed there's a sign up there, as you can see. It's an orange sign. I'm not filming y'all here, but it's not moving. It changes, but it wasn't moving. What we saw was moving up and down, left and right. And we saw a white light too now. There was like two of them. But one of them was about that color. It's hard to say that it wasn't that sign except for the movement. It's hard to tell exactly if that line's exactly up with where I was standing behind my car over there. But I think if it had been that sign, it would have been higher up on the tree. What we were seeing was, let's see, about this height. That orange sign, as you can see, the road goes up. It's probably about right in here. What we saw was a little bit lower, I believe. But not only that, there was one right up on the hill there. Right in there, there's a clearing on the top of a ridge. There was one standing up there. It looked like an extremely bright headlamp that was moving all around. It looked down. You could tell it when it looked down towards the ground and it looked back up. And it was kind of bobbing, moving left and right, kind of like a boxer does in there in the ring. Like he's trying to get a better look at us, and then he'd move over to the left a little ways and then back to the right. Yeah, you can see it was right in there. It's clearing up in there. And I've been up there, and there is I can't tell. Right there is where he was at. But that's a ridge line up there. And after a while, he was gone. And then we started hearing limb snaps, and I heard a loud limb snap right up in here somewhere. And we didn't know where he was at after that. But these over here were still moving around. And whenever I'd blow the harmonica, it'd get a whole lot brighter. They would light up bright. So how could that be the sign if that took place? So it was pretty weird. The only way I'll have to come back when the leaves are falling down and park in the same spot and look through that clearing and see if I see that orange light, see where it lines up at. I can't tell right now. I forgot to add too that all this took place right after I used the call blasters. And when we first got here, and I was leaning up against the car like this after I did it. And Jay saw a light up there flash, he thought, he wasn't sure. And then I saw the orange lights there. And then this one up here. And this one up here stepped out and really lit up after we saw the orange lights. And all this took place probably about less than 5 minutes after I call blasted. There were no lights before then, so. But they weren't aggressive. Nothing was aggressive. They just watched us, and we sat here and watched them for like 45 minutes or an hour. Till this one up here finally disappeared, but these were still here. This other one was still here because we could hear that limb snap up there. He was here somewhere, we just couldn't see him. He had probably moved. I'm thinking he moved from over there to over here somewhere. That's where the limb popped. Oh, and we also saw an extremely bright white flash. It looked like lightning. It lit up the whole sky right there. Right at the same time this guy stepped out and really lit up. So, I don't know what that was. There weren't any storms. It was a pretty clear night. A little foggy, hazy, but not storms. So I don't know what the flash was. We've looked online to see if there were any lightning strikes that night, and we can't find any history of it, so I don't know.